Welcome, seekers of the unknown, as we pull back the veil between the living and beyond. Unraveling questions that plague our minds, and oftentimes presenting the evidence that may prove them true. Let us take you on a journey where paranormal becomes normal, and where what is right behind you just might be echoes of the afterlife or something more. But fair warning, once you step into the supernatural with us, you might just stay haunted.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stay Haunted.
Hello.
I was like an Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa. Well, only one of us is Oompa Loompa-ish tonight. Part two.
Part two.
Good evening, everybody in chat. Hope everybody had a great weekend.
Welcome again. Thanks for hanging with us on a Monday evening, as always. Good to, well, can't really see anybody, but good to see you in the chat.
We can feel you, though.
Feel your presence.
We know you're there. We know you're there.
So how was your weekend?
You beat me to it, Chris.
I saw you start. That's why I jumped in.
I don't know. I'm going to let Carmela talk about this. I'm going to post some hellos and.
You're going to post some hoes?
Post some hellos.
Todd's going to post some hoes.
We had we had a weekend of fun and frickery.
And why was that?
More like fuckery.
Fuckery.
Well, I didn't say that.
Why did we have a weekend of funnery? Frickery?
Because we were all together.
That's right.
We made the drive to
Ohio
to see Chris and Audra this weekend. And it was an awesome weekend.
We're doing it just to bother you, Raul.
We saw that and we were like, how long can we go?
Raul's here. Take your time. But Carmela showed up about 1:30 Friday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did.
Of course, we were drinking by 4.
Yes, we were. And they were. We can now attest.
Was I drinking?
I think. We had margaritas, right?
Oh, we did. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's when I had two and almost fell off the seat.
Yeah, she had 2 margaritas and she was almost under the table.
I really didn't have 2. I had one and a half.
One and a half.
4, maybe.
1.5. But the
they're
reason
strong.
we go to the same place, and I'll say it.
But
Tequila's, you owe me money for promoting on my show.
That's right.
It's right up the street from us. It's in Perrysburg, Ohio. Best damn margaritas for happy hour in Toledo. And they're half price at happy hour, and 3/4 of it is tequila. So, with that being said, Lil Carmela.
Not me.
But it was a really good weekend. We got to take them to Haunted Fort Meigs. We went to Haunted Fallen Timbers, where the historic battleground of when the Union Army came in and wiped out 3 to 5 different indigenous tribes for the land.
We tried to get Chris and Audra to spin the wheel of what was it? We called it the wheel of illnesses.
Yeah.
So it's been there since the War of 1812, y'all, and they still have the original wall. They still have the original forts in the corners. And they have little historical glimpses of what happened there. And in one of them, they have the Wheel of Illnesses, which is the different types of the Wheel of Fate of all the different illnesses that people died of at the fort over the 2 centuries, 3 centuries that it's been there. And Todd's like, "You're going to spin it?" I'm like, "Why the hell would I spin that?"
I'm not choosing.
No, I'm not spinning that damn
We're
thing.
not even putting that in up to the universe, right?
I did it.
What'd you get?
I got lockjaw.
Oh, she got locked in.
And my jaw was hurting today, so look out.
Your anniversary was while they were here. Happy anniversary, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So now y'all know how Carmela got lockjaw.
Oh God, help us. I mean, gonna turn red over here. I'll be back.
I can't believe you just said that.
Todd's turning red.
Dang. Yeah.
Anyway,
it was an awesome weekend. It was wonderful. We appreciate the hospitality. I know we set it off before the show started and before we left, but it was, it's a great time when we get to work with you guys, get to spend some quality time. And
it was. They literally left here 12 hours ago.
I know. I know. Crazy.
Turn around. 8-hour drive home, 3 hours between when we got home to relax a few before the show tonight. So, but
it was a fun weekend. The best part about it is, guys, pay really close attention. November 10th, we're going to have an evidence reveal show for the investigations that we did while Todd and Carmela were here. And we got some really good stories, a couple good picks. Hopefully, EVPs.
Yeah, I've gone through them.
Hopefully. I will reveal one thing. We did do the Haunted Holcomb Road out here in Ohio, and we had 2 recorders going, Todd and Carmela's recorder and Otter and I's recorder. We were hearing sounds. We were hearing humming. We were hearing screams. We were hearing all kinds of stuff in the woods. We were getting a creepy feeling. Both of our audio recorders contaminated, which was really weird.
And there was nothing around us. Like
No,
maybe a car here and there.
No, we were in the woods. So,
but we're gonna do some review, and we're gonna reveal some of the evidence we captured, and you might get to see some of the evidence we captured when Ron and Lourdes was here 2 months ago, a month ago. So we'll go through all that. And we'll have an evidence show for you guys on the 10th of November.
Yep.
But in the meantime, we've got some really awesome guests for you guys.
Yes, we do.
We met this couple at Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. They had a table set up near Cody and Satori and Johnny Zaffis. Unfortunately, they won't be back again to Gettysburg Bash, but we brought them back here. Guys,
introduce them to everybody.
Yeah, this is Forever Investigating Beyond. It's a team of 3 that include Tim, Kate, and Chris. And as a team, that's a really cool name, by the way. And as a team, they've only been together for about a year, but their personal journeys in the paranormal varies. Tim has been a guest investigating for over 10 years. He's had firsthand experiences with the paranormal since a very young age. Kate lost a family member at a young age and has always felt their presence, and Tim has encouraged and helped guide her through that journey into investigations. Chris has always been interested in the paranormal and the otherworldly. That's what Stay Haunted's about, right?
Mm-hmm.
She enjoys exploring the paranormal and having the experiences. Forever Investigating Paranormal is a team that enjoys exploring new locations and returning to the old ones. So during their venture into the paranormal, they discussed the cost of equipment and how personal everything was. So FIB believes that every person has a personal experience or reason for joining the paranormal. And they decided they wanted to give people a cost-effective alternative for equipment as well as the ability to customize it. So not only are they investigators, but we might learn some places to get some equipment here tonight, y'all.
Nice.
Nice.
So they enjoy sharing experiences across the different social media platforms, meeting investigators from different areas of the country. Forever Investigating Beyond also hope to guide and inform and help the next generation of investigators, because like Todd and Carmela and Audra and I, we getting old and can't get out there as much as we used to.
Somebody's got to pass on that baton.
Some of the younger ones can do the 31 degrees with the wind. We cut out about an hour into it this weekend. So everybody, unfortunately, Chris is not with them tonight, but say hello to Tim and Kate.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. So I always start with guests that we haven't had on before. So I talked a little bit, Tim and Kate, about your experiences in the paranormal that got into the paranormal community. Give us your personal version of what brought you into it.
How do you guys start?
Like you said before, at a very young age, I had my first paranormal experience. I was about 4 or 5. I had woken up in the middle of the night. I was staying at my grandma's house and walked down the hallway to use the bathroom, and there was a figure standing in the middle of the hallway. And I stopped where I was at. I turned around and knocked on my grandma's door and woke her up, and she turned on all the lights in the house, and there was nobody there. So it was a full-bodied apparition that I saw at a very young age. And then I lived with my grandma and grandpa for about 6-7 years until I left the military, but their house was very haunted. We would hear stuff all the time. They had a motion sensor Santa Claus thing that they used for decoration. It would go off and play music all the time, but we had to turn it off at night before we went to bed because it would constantly go off and wake everybody up. So that had to be turned off before everybody went to bed. But yeah, I mean, I would hear kids laughing, playing around in the house, and well past midnight. So it was quite the experience that I've had. And even living in an old military base in their housing unit, I saw an apparition of a little girl and a black mass going past my window in the dining room as well. So there's a lot of experiences that I've had in my life, and which is why I'm here today. So,
but did you freak your grandmom out? Like you knocked on her door and you said there's someone in the house? I would.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. So my grandpa at the time, he was a truck driver over the road, so he was never home.
Right.
But yeah, she got up with me. She turned her bedroom light on, kind of like peeked around a little bit. But I remember it clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
Did she have any experiences or no? Your grandma?
No.
Yep. Okay.
Wow. Anybody else in the house ever?
No, it was just me. And they always, being at a young age, like, well, you must have been dreaming, but I was awake. It was an experience that I had personally. And it's something that I remember clear as day, that, as a 4 or 5 year old, things you don't remember that I remember.
Right.
And I can always see it every time I talk about it. I can just envision it every time I talk about it.
Wow. It's one of those things that stuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you, Kate?
So like you had mentioned earlier, I had lost a couple family members and really close family friends when I was really young. One of them being my dad when I was 15. And going through some of that trauma, I think the youngest was my grandfather when I was like, 6 or 7. And you just always feel, I just always felt, some, like there was something there, and I had always kind of believed that there was something else after we passed on, whether it's, heaven, hell, whatever religion, you think that they have that afterlife. And I'd always been interested in the paranormal, always interested in doing an investigation, but I had no idea where to start. And growing up, I was in a really small town and they weren't very welcoming to that kind of thought.
Right.
And, experiences. So when I met Tim, it was even a year after we had met and started talking about stuff that we had realized we shared this common interest. So once we realized that, we, started going more in depth and went on our first investigation with Chris and started, diving deeper into, the things that we felt or that you experience when you're at a location, or if you have items from the people that you cared about. So, being able to look more in depth with it definitely makes me feel more connected with the people that I've lost. And, and I enjoy finding the stories and the histories of the places that we go.
Mm-hmm.
That is the best part about it too.
Yeah.
Is not just realizing that, everybody mourns when somebody's lost, but what we do, you heard it in our intro, it's where the paranormal becomes normal. You don't realize that the paranormal is actually more normal in real life than people actually accept it as, because everybody's afraid of it, right? Mm-hmm. But if you accept the paranormal as normal, then you realize that life doesn't end when the meat suit goes away, right? It continues on, right? And that helps, especially when you lose someone you care about so dearly, right?
Yeah.
One thing I noticed when I talk to people, whether they've had an experience or not, so the people who's never had experiences, which Mary made a pretty good point there, that if you've never had an experience in your life, the left side of your brain switches on. It's like, okay, we need to be like more scientific about this, and it could have been the pipes or the house settling or whatever. It's but then if you've ever had a paranormal experience, then the right side of your brain clicks on, and you're trying to find out what's happening, and you use your imagination to try to figure out like what you can do to investigate it or whatnot. But
Try to debunk it.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, you just ignore it, and you never know. You'll never know if you've never experienced it. Your brain isn't wired to try to investigate stuff like that. So
Right.
So Tim, the experience that you had, I know Carmela asked about your grandmother, or if she had any experience or experienced it with you. Do you have any siblings, or is there any other family members that are sensitive, or may have had experiences? So just as opposed to just yourself.
So the first story, when I was 5, I was staying with my stepdad's mom, but she was my grandma growing up my entire life. So the second story I told about being at my grandma's house with the decoration stuff, that was my mom's mom. So
right.
My mom's mom and my grandma and grandpa, they knew their house was haunted. They knew that.
Okay.
And their story was always, there was an Ouija board that was being played in the house by the kids, and they allowed it. And so that's why, like, all that stuff started happening. And no, they knew. I would tell them what happened. I would tell them everything that's happened. Like, oh yeah, we know. So
right.
Did they know who it was?
It wasn't a surprise to them. So
no, it wasn't. So my brother, he lived there with me for a little while, and yeah, he experienced it too. He tried to become. He was looking into a different religion. I think it was like Baptist or something. But he brought a preacher over, and he was talking to him. And no more than 10 minutes of him being in my grandma's house, he stopped in the living room, looked at my grandma and grandpa, and said, "You got the devil living in your house." And he left and said, "I'll never be back."
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that was happening in that house. And unfortunately, they're no longer here. They re-renovated the house, but they live like an hour from me currently, or the house, it's an hour away from me. And I'm trying to figure out a way to just go knock on the door and say, "Hey, I lived here growing up, and I've experienced this stuff, and I kind of want to see if I can get in there again."
Right.
But
That's a hard one, because you want to go back and you want to investigate it and try and get answers for all that stuff that you experienced when you were a kid, but you don't want to scare the shit out of the current homeowners either.
right.
Hey, by the way,
your house is haunted.
FYI.
Just let me in to see if I can fix it.
Yeah, that's a hard one. For paranormal, you would get lucky if you showed up and it was another paranormal investigator. Come on in, we've got all kinds of right?
Yeah.
But
Well, even just knock on the door and saying, "Hey, have you guys experienced anything? And if you have, these are my experiences. Do you mind if we come in and check it out?"
Yeah.
Most people feel that they're alone. I mean,
Right.
they don't want to tell anybody. They don't want to talk about it. Think it'll just go away, whatever. So
That's awesome.
Did anybody just see our lights flicker everywhere?
That's why, we
weren't ignoring.
our light was flickering again. So
all lights in the dining room. They were flickering, and that was flickering.
Yeah.
no, I didn't see it.
Didn't see it.
Well, the weird thing is, I text TJ, "Did you have any door slamming while we were away?" Because their doors upstairs just randomly slam. And he's like, "No, it's been good." And then the lights
the lights started flickering. So.
You took it home with you.
Yeah, we forgot to
No,
mention.
Audra and I said it at the
Oh,
cemetery.
you did say at
At
the cemetery. I was going to say
we said it.
I didn't say, but as long as you said it.
Yeah. Make sure you always close it.
Yes.
You stay here.
You stay there.
Yeah, stay there. We're due for it.
Okay, after you had relatives pass, what kind of experience did you have that you felt them around you?
It would be certain things like growing up, we would travel 12 hours to go visit my dad's family.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, we lost audio.
There we go.
Yeah.
Are you back? Nope.
Phone lines, and
There you go.
I could never find them before he did. And after he passed, like I just started seeing them everywhere. And it was just so strange because like I've lived basically in the same area my whole life. And it's not like there's like a huge influx of hawks at any point. And like just seeing them like middle of the day, you're just driving down the road to go home, and you know I'm seeing them, you know, left and right. And when obviously I was 15 when he passed, when I had my first daughter, she would be in the living room playing, you know, she's like maybe 2 years old, but it always seemed like she was talking to somebody. And like, you know, kids will look up like they're, you know, you're talking to somebody or you're looking at something. Right. And she would just babble. And, you know, her dad was like, well, you know, do you think it's your dad that is visiting her? Because he never got to have any of that experience from my life. So it's some of those comfort things, you know, it makes me feel good that, you know, I believe that that is him interacting and, you know, just checking in.
Yeah. Well, it's not just a belief, it's a feeling, right?
Yeah.
Like when my dad passed, he was my hero. And it was like his favorite show was Flippin' MASH. And he would watch. That man knew the word for word of every episode of MASH from every season because he did nothing but watch MASH all the time. And I was kind of similar to your experience. I was walking at work one day and I literally did not like MASH. I did not watch it. I would fall asleep. I would go to the other room. Literally, I was walking at work about 6 months after he passed, and the theme started popping into my head, and I started humming it. And I'm like, whoa. And I stopped and I went, hi, Dad.
Turn it up.
Because I knew it had to have been him because that's not something that would have popped into my head at any time. Yeah. So you know, I tell everybody it's the little signs you got to watch for because everybody's looking for the guy walking across water or the burning bush, right? But it's those little signs and the feelings you get from those little signs that tells you they're with you. So I believe if you see it, you feel it, that's them. So that's awesome.
And I was just going to mention that.
Sorry to interrupt. I lost my father as well when I was 20, and kind of the same experience with my oldest daughter. She's 18 now, but when she was, younger, her mom is Catholic, and so she was like a once a year go to church thing for Easter, and so I went with her one time when my oldest was little, and she was turned around in the bench, and she was just babbling and talking to somebody, and so I was like looking to say, "Hey, turn around, sit down." Well, we get out to the car, and I asked her, I said, "Who are you talking to?" Because there's nobody behind us. So I was talking to this guy named George, and I like stopped instantly. Like I get chills every time I say it, but that was my dad's name. And so he actually passed before any of my kids were born. So I think that he was probably there with her.
Mm-hmm.
So
and like you talk about, that it's a for people that want to believe or are not sure about, what lies beyond the veil when we pass away. It's a comforting, like, if you have faith, that's what you want to believe, that, hey, there is something after we pass on, that this is not the end all. And right. Seeing those little signs like that, though, we've all heard that, children are a little bit more receptive, open to, that contact. And that's, that's an awesome, in my opinion, it's a very comforting, feeling to have, to knowing, especially in that situation, that somebody that a loved one that never got the chance to meet, but now is still able to make, have some type of communication and talk.
Robbie did that with your mom. Yeah. Remember, we were upstairs in our room, and Robbie's like, oh, giggling. He's our older one. He's 23. And I said, who are you talking to? And he said, oh, just Mom and Coke. And I said, what is she saying? And he said, she said it was a secret. And then he walks away laughing. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, yeah, we can relate. We've had a couple of experiences and stuff. So it's a comforting feeling, you know.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, so fast forward now to your experiences and what you got into the paranormal. How did the two of you get into investigating?
I had a team before her and I met, and we disbanded a long time ago. And I lived in Indiana at the time, so a little bit about that. I investigated for a while, and I actually got with another group of investigators, which was awesome. I got with the what you consider, I don't consider lead or co-lead or whatever, but I got with their lead investigator, and we actually got the public involved, where we would go sit back in the back room of a metaphysical store after they closed, and got the public in. I think, about 12 people would show up every month. We did it once a month, and we got them involved. Whoever was interested were able to come. We didn't charge anybody, but we listened to their experiences. We showed them the equipment that we used. There was actually some people there that got together and made their own group out of it. So we were just wanting to help people get started. That was our, that's my main thing, is trying to get people started, because like Kate says, you don't know where to start if you're experiencing it, and you don't know what to do. You're seeing all these websites being thrown in your face with all this equipment. You don't know what it does, and you're just overwhelmed with it, right? So we taught them everything that we had, and eventually I moved back here to Illinois and met her. And so, yeah, here we are.
So had you ever investigated before, Kate?
No. Last year was my first time. It was actually Chris's first time as well. She's not here. She's our other teammate. She actually lives in Wisconsin, so she's a couple hours away from us. But just about every investigation we do, she's down to go travel and go wherever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But
so how did they get you to do it the first time?
well, so I watched the TV shows, and I watched YouTube and all sorts of stuff. I read ghost stories and everything, and I was really, really wanting to get to experience one. And Tim was, we had discovered we had that common interest, and we were like, you know what, well, let's go. He hadn't been on an investigation for over a year at that point. And I'd never been, Chris had never been, and we were like, you know what, let's just go find a place. And Tim, having lived in Indiana, knew quite a few locations there. So we went to Whispers Estate, and it's a really nice entry level location. It's not overly large. It's it's big enough that you can have different areas to go to, but you're not on top of each other if you have multiple people.
All right.
I was absolutely terrified. I was so nervous. I had no idea what to expect. And, the TV shows exaggerate everything. And, the music amplifies that feeling too when you watch. So I'm there. I'm so nervous. I'm amped up. I'm just jittery. And one of the things that Tim and I do, what?
All natural things to feel.
Yes. So one of the things that Tim and I do at home with each other is we tend to jump scare each other. And this Yahoo.
Really?
Listen.
That's another story.
FYI, we didn't.
Another story.
That's a sore subject, but just
Not a sore subject.
not a sore subject. Well,
oh, I'll get you back. Don't worry.
we'll just say Chris.
Don't worry.
Karma's a bitch, right?
Karma.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. So I go into the bathroom, and in the very beginning, I said, "Don't scare me. I'm already nervous enough." Well, I went to the bathroom and you have to cross the kitchen, and he had gotten down on all fours and started crawling across the floor at me. Scared the crap out of me. And I just bolted into the dining room where Chris was, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna stay here for a little bit and have some food.
That's
funny. My nose just grew big.
I shouldn't have done it, but the opportunity presented itself, and
So listen,
Sounds good.
just so what we're kind of referring to. So we were in at Chris and Audra's this weekend, and Todd and Chris are lucky to be alive because
I went to the bathroom also. Thank God, because if I didn't, it really
always the bathroom.
Damn bathroom.
And Todd's staring at me in the hallway. He's like, "Come here, come here." I'm like, "Well, that's weird. Why? What do you want from me?" And then the other one over here,
Chris had ducked into. He's like, and I'm just like, and I was like, I didn't know, and I was just like, fuck.
I looked at Todd and I went, "Don't say anything." So he's like, "Carmela, come here." So she walked out, and I was standing in the doorway next to where she was. And I stomped on the floor and went, "Gala!" No scream.
No scream.
She was just like, and that was it. I knew I had gotten her good because nothing.
He ran for his life.
I bolted down the steps because I was trying not to get pushed down the steps.
Like you said, don't scare me. So Audra and I were saying we hate to be jump scared. We're saying this all before it happened. We don't like it, blah, blah, blah. And then the same thing. I was like,
the best part was Todd got blamed for it.
Because he lured me in.
I lured you in.
He didn't lure me in instead of saying, "Hey, Chris is in the hallway. Don't be scared."
And I'm like,
"What is your problem?" Okay, sorry.
Okay, so what locations have you guys investigated?
So we've been to Whispers Estate, Melbourne Manor, Sleeper Mortuary multiple times. We're going to be going back probably twice next year to Sleeper. We absolutely love Sleeper Mortuary. It's a new location. If you guys know who Tori Westhoff is, she's also an author she makes books for investigators to use as a tool during their investigations at different locations.
And where's that located?
That's in Iola, Kansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an old mortuary. So
all right.
We actually got, every time we go, we get very great evidence. So but we also did a kid event there too, where we co-hosted the kid event from at Sleeper with Tori, and that was a great turnout too. So we're actually going to be doing another one, I believe, this summer with Tori. So if you guys, anybody who has kids that are interested, I know a lot of these places don't allow it, but we're going to be co-hosting a kid event again this year in summertime.
Oh, awesome.
So keep an eye out for that. Yeah.
We've also been to Edinburgh Manor in Iowa.
Randolph County Infirmary. We've been to Trans-Allegheny.
Oh, favorite. Whoops, sorry.
We're now disappearing. Goodbye.
Really weird.
Here we come. Here we.
Trans-Allegheny. Did you guys have any experiences at Trans-Allegheny? That's one of our favorites. We've done it 3 times.
Place, yeah.
Turn that.
Not as much as I would have hoped.
But we know that you're never going to get something every single trip.
So we turned our investigations into a scientific thing. We're doing things that, practically not a whole lot of people are doing. We have EMF detectors. We have static detectors. We have temperature deviation devices. And we have voice recordings and cameras. And we use every single one of those types of devices. So if a spirit's able to manifest itself, we're trying to see what device it's using, whether it be EMF or if it's going to be static electricity or if it's going to be, we all know temperature changes when a spirit manifests, but if that temperature device does fluctuate along with other different types of devices, right? So, people are using REM pods and K2s and, all these EMF detectors, but they all measure the same thing, right? It's all electromagnetic. So why are we using all EMF detectors and electromagnetic devices when we could be using the static devices, the temperature deviations? I don't see a whole lot of people using those. So we're trying to do something a little different.
Sounds like you're trying to create the perfect storm so you can see what the paranormal recipe is.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
That's basically what we're doing. We've been doing that probably 3 or 4 investigations now. So the static device that we're using is the static dome from
Vortex.
Yeah, Vortex. You can purchase one on their website. I think it's like $95 shipped. But it's a great device. It tells you what direction the static electricity is coming from. Right. So it'll actually circle around the device, or and we've only maybe had it go off less than a handful of times. So if something's constantly going off, then there's something wrong with it, right? So yeah. We got a tripwire, so we got all different types of EMF stuff. But we have all that set up during our investigation. So
like Chris was mentioned, trying to come up with that perfect storm, or kind of that recipe for maybe what may be working better than one device than the other. Are you guys trying to document, or any type of, when you're doing an investigation or upon review, to where you're able to say, hey, on this investigation, we found, hey, we had more temperature fluctuations during this investigation versus, any type of audible, EVP or, tripwire EMF along those lines. I didn't know if you've found, first, if you've done that, if you try and do those types of notes and record keeping. And then if you have you found that, hey, certain locations on certain nights, certain environmental conditions or anything like that, you found that one was more predominant than another?
Yeah, so we try to do the best that we can to document stuff.
It's an undertaking, I know. Yeah,
but we have so much going on with all the devices that we carry around. That it's kind of hard to, but I do review the footage, and I do in the back of my mind, I know what's happening, right? So like I can go home and talk about it, say, hey, this happened. But then I'll go back and review the footage, and you actually see more than, reviewing footage than what you could experience on an investigation. So a lot of people find their stuff that way. So always review your footage if you're not.
Man, we talked about, I think, right, Chris and Audra, this weekend, we were talking about like where you've had times where it's been quiet, and then you go review, and then it's holy crap.
There's so much in there.
We went to Togany Cemetery here in Ohio, and it's literally listed as the most haunted cemetery in Ohio. And we've been there at times, and it's been multiple investigations. I've been investigating since I was in my early 20s. I'm almost 53 now. So I've had plenty of investigations where, God, it was just completely silent. Nothing was going on. No pun intended. It was dead, right? And then you get home and review everything, and you've captured more evidence than you do on a night when you're experiencing more. Okay. And then there's been nights where, God, we were experiencing all kinds of, like Trans-Allegheny. God, I mean, it was that one private that we did. We saw the creeper. I got grabbed. We had devices everywhere. 5 EVPs. Yeah. Nothing on camera. Oh wait, no, I caught a really cool orb. It wasn't an orb. It was a pulsating orb that followed a path, right? Mm-hmm. But all night long, with 4 or 5 cameras, 3 digital recorders, Audra carrying her recorder and video recording and EMFing, and that whole night we had these outstanding experiences, but 6 EVPs.
Yeah.
And one little small video. So we were talking about this weekend, where you do all these things, And the reason I'm saying this is not only to add to what Todd was saying. Now I'm curious. You use all these devices. You're trying to see what that perfect storm is. What would be phenomenal is if you guys could data point that and create the perfect trigger object. Mm-hmm. You know, we always go like, what do you take to Gettysburg? Let's take an old lead ball. Let's take an old, rifle. What kind of trigger object works in these locations? If you guys could dial that in with equipment, you could create your own trigger object at every location because you have the perfect recipe. That would be phenomenal to see.
Man.
Yeah, I've been looking into like the whole static electricity stuff. I know how to make them. I just haven't made them yet. It's been a pretty busy few months, and now it's hunting season, so I'm spending a lot of time doing that right now. But
priorities, we understand.
Yeah. Priorities. No, but it's going to all the cons and stuff like that. Like we built a lot of stuff for that. I haven't had a whole lot of like downtime to actually do the research and figure out how I can get it put together into one. So
speaking about the equipment and building, what got you into starting to build your own equipment and then wanting to share it with other investigators?
So as I said before, my number one thing was, wanting to help others get involved in the paranormal.
No, your number one thing was because you had to buy all new equipment.
No, like, but yeah, when Kate and I got together and, my last group disbanded, I lost all my equipment. And so I started going back online and like looking at things that I personally wanted to use that I knew does work. And so I started doing a little bit more research, and I'm like, well, instead of spending $200-300 on one piece of equipment, like, why can't I just try to make one? And so I did. You can, if you're handy, if you can solder, and if you can, watch videos and stuff, you can make one too. But all of ours they're all customized. So we offer customized devices for people that get onto our website, which is FIB Paranormal LLC.com. So we do. Kate does all the wood burning stuff. She's great at it. But this is one of our REM devices that we make. So.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it comes with a planchette, nice little keychain planchette attached to it.
That is very cool.
I gotta ask. So she doesn't. She's not a big fan of the Ouija.
Ouija.
The Ouija.
Ouija.
So if I wanted to maybe purchase that
just don't let me touch
style,
it.
you just wouldn't touch it. Okay.
But
yeah, we do all sorts of stuff. I've done so many different logos for people. They want their own design on there, showing their group. Yeah, I've done really simple, basic ones, and then I've gotten some more intricate ones, which really help push my like artistic side, because that's something that I'm really passionate about. So it's
Don't you steal my idea, Chris. Don't you steal my idea.
So yeah, we'll get people that do custom ones like the logos, and then we have some designs that we offer as, like we take to the cons and stuff, or ready-made for purchase from our site. And it's
that website
just
again,
whatever.
I'll put in the chat for everybody.
For investigating beyond LLC, right?
So,
FIB.
it's FIB Paranormal LLC.com.
So I have it while Chris is doing that. So what's your, out of all the locations that you've investigated, what's your favorite?
Sleeper mortuary.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of places.
Yeah, he's been to more than I have.
Right. Well, it's for both of you. So, okay. Kate, we know yours. Tim?
I've had really good experiences at multiple different places. So Blackford County Jail in Indiana. There was one experience I had where I was carrying on the SLS camera, and I had a REM pod on the floor, and it was going off. Well, I got my SLS camera out, and I was like, okay, well, let's see if I can see what's triggering this thing. Well, it was actually up in the top left corner, like crawling across the ceiling. And it disappeared from the SLS, and then the REM pod stopped. Like it would trickle, you know? And then a guy behind me, one of the other investigators, started taking pictures. Well, after all that had stopped, there was a big white fog mass that went wrapped around my waist. And it actually, what it looks like to me, had a face. So it looks like it was actually running out of the area because it was like blocked in by us, right? So it had nowhere to go except past me. But it looked like it was wrapping itself around me, and it was like trying to get past me. And it was really weird. That was at the Blackford County Jail. And I have pictures on my TikTok. So if you guys follow us on TikTok, FIB_paranormal, I have all that, stuff on there. So, but Sleeping Mortuary is probably one of the best places I've been. Every time we go, it never disappoints. So it's really cool.
And the interesting thing about that experience is just not, you just didn't have one kind of experience. It was multiple things. So you had audible with the REM pod, you had the SLS, and then you actually had a picture, right? So that there's three separate kind of captures to validate what the experience was.
Exactly. And that's the most important. Like we don't run around and just use one device and it goes off. We're like, oh, it's paranormal. Like, we're not that group. So we go live on our TikTok on all of our investigations. You're not going to see that from us. What you're going to see is a scientific approach. We're trying to figure out if something can manifest in front of us, what is it going to trigger, and why is that being triggered when it manifests?
Right.
So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, very cool.
Yep. That would get bored after a while because nothing happens all the time, and we're not here to entertain people. We're here to
educate.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And you might get entertained once in a while.
Yeah.
You do a favorite act,
Well, my favorite one is we were at Sleeper Mortuary and we were trying to do an Estes where Tim was in the basement and Chris and I were on the second floor. And the internet connection was not great in the basement at the time. And it cut out. It froze on him. But he's still going. He can't see or hear anything. So Chris's got my phone and, we were live on as a guest on TikTok with him. And I went down to the basement to go let him know. And we had our DVR system recording down there. And I scared the crap out of him. Like, he shrieked so loud.
So it just so happened that she was going to walk up and tap me on the shoulder. And I'm sitting in pitch black, right? I do have a flashlight. This video is on our TikTok, by the way. It has almost 33,000 views on it. But you can see the flashlight, but my eyes are covered, and I just so happened to uncover my eyes as she's like 3 feet in front of me.
Oh my Lord!
Oh yeah, and it terrified me so bad. I jumped out of the chair. The chair fell over, and I was like, I yelled, "Get the fuck out of here!" And just
like, it's only me.
Yeah.
Kate's like, it's only me.
Like, what do you mean?
It's only me.
That's hysterical. I think we've all had those moments.
Yeah.
Me every day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
not Chris. Huh?
So have
No, I don't have those moments. When people try and scare you guys got to remember, I was with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office for 10 years. I was a reserve posse officer. I would go out and do this stuff for fun with real life that wouldn't hurt me. So when I go into a paranormal location, it doesn't bother me. I've had experiences since I was a kid. I've been a sensitive since I was a kid. the stuff doesn't scare me. It's normal to me. So I've had multiple people. You can ask her, try and scare me, and I'll go, seriously.
Come on, you gotta do better than that.
We were just telling Todd Carmella this weekend. So we used to do paranormal investigations at the Phelps Dodge Mining Hospital in Ajo. It's been on Ghost Hunters. It's been on
Destination Fear.
It's been on what's the one with Zach? Ghost Adventures. We used to host paranormal investigations there where we would bring people in never done it, kind of like similar to what you guys do. And we would give them equipment, give them a tour of the facility. I would go there during the day by myself. But we would tell them, just like you guys do, you guys got to remember what you see on TV. I would tell them, have you ever watched the Red Zone with NFL? And they'd go, yeah. And I went, that's TV.
Right.
Yeah. What you're about to see is the whole game. Right? You're going to spend 2 to 3 hours in this facility in the dark. You're going to walk through. You're going to ask questions. I said, you might get one EVP. You might get no EVPs. It's going to be boring. But leading up to that, I was just telling Todd and Carmel that Tony and Sheree Rathman used to do the tours with us and control the investigations there with us. And they would always try and scare us because we'd always get there early. Yeah. And we'd be walking the building before they got there. And I would hear them pull in because the windows were open. And as we'd come down to this first floor, they would jump out and try and scare us every time. And I go, seriously? I knew you were here. So one night we were upstairs, pitch black. Cherie's in the X-ray area, and it's like a maze. You can go through these little back hallways, and nobody can see where you're at. And I found this L bracket metal thing, and I finally got payback. She was in the X-ray lab that's all tile.
Yeah.
And she's in there.
Floor to ceiling.
Ironically enough, I think the spirits got used to us being there because we were there for 2.5 years, like at least once a week sometimes, or at least I was.
Yeah.
So I think they got used to us because I think they knew I was going to scare her, because right before I scared her, we heard a voice down the hallway. And her husband goes, hey, did you hear that? And I went, yeah, I heard it. And about that time, I tossed that metal piece. Oh, yeah. And it landed next to her feet on that tile and clanged, and it scared the hell out of her. But
that's awesome.
I'm not saying I can't be jump scared. It's very difficult because I'm more afraid of real people than I am of spirits. Yes. Yeah. So.
Yep, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And actually, I was kind of tying into that comment about, as you were tossing that bracket, it's almost as if the spirits knew that it was going to happen. Maybe. And it's like, you're not even investigating. My question is to Kate and Tim, have you ever been on those quiet nights to where, hey, now you're just, maybe you're kind of not paying attention, you're goofing off, you're doing something, and then something happens? Because I want to say we've been goofing off or chuckling around and stuff and just really being yourselves. A lot of times we go in focused on, who are you, what's your age, this, that, the whole 9 yards. And then as opposed to just sometimes just, hey, you're being yourselves and going in there goofing off, and then you get some type of experience when that happens. So has that ever happened to you guys?
So when it gets really slow, we'll just sit and conversate with each other. We'll just stop communicating altogether with the spiritual world, and we'll just sit and communicate with each other. Because a lot of times what happens is that they want to take part in your conversation as well. So you might say something that's going to trigger them just by a normal conversation, or they're interested. So they might want to have like their own 2 cents in on what you're saying. Mm-hmm. One other thing that I want to mention as well is that we've been on investigations with multiple different groups. So we collab with a lot of people. And we've noticed too that, if we split up in the beginning and we kind of do our own thing, because, that's what people like to do, but then you group up in the middle of the night, we found that
get more evidence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was every time.
The one at Malvern Manor was probably our best evidence. I don't even know if it got caught on camera. I think the camera angle was too low, but we had, we were at Malvern Manor. We had a bunch of different people there. sat in the captain's room, and we had a tripwire leading from in the hallway into the center of the room, ending with the REM pod. And, you know, we're asking questions, but we're also joking around with each other. It's late, you're a little slap happy. And at one point, like, the tripwire just lit up one right after the other, and then the REM went off.
Wow.
And we're like, oh my God, you know, everybody's freaking out. Like, did you see that? And, you know,
it was almost like a spirit had walked in from the hallway and just stepped in the middle of the room, is what it was like.
Right.
But there's also one of those things where, you know, both of those devices are EMF, right? So, you know, was it maybe a trigger of a radio wave? Was it, you know, something that, because those devices, radio waves can travel for thousands of miles. And just because they're traveling through the air thousands of miles, that doesn't mean that it's not going to pass through buildings. So,
right.
That's another thing that you got to keep in mind as well. So, but it was one of those things that I've never seen, nobody's ever seen before. It was like in sequence, one light on the tripwire would go off, and as soon as every light lit up, one at a time, the REM device triggered.
Wow.
It was really cool.
That is cool.
Sounds like it. That'd be neat to see.
All right. Unfortunately, we have reached our 1 hour time frame. So do me a favor, really quick. Tell everybody again. Race just bowed. Race just went. Whoop.
It's like later.
Remind everybody again where they can find you, what you guys do, where you're going to be next. If they can reach out to you for anything at all, where can they reach out to you at?
So our website, FIB Paranormal LLC.com. We have multiple devices. We build REM devices, music boxes, and our response device that actually says yes or no, depending on the motion, if whatever, you know, the spirit wants to talk.
so that's audible rather than just,
Yeah.
you know, a light that you have to watch for.
And she's going to be going to the State House in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
With Chris.
In
No
December.
solos yet. I don't think I'm ready for that.
I unfortunately have to go hunting, so
So
she's gonna.
Oh, man.
Damn it.
Darn it.
On our website, we do have a contact direct email, but our email is foreverinvestigatingbeyond@gmail.com. We're very responsive. We do work full-time jobs, so we sleep at night, you know. but we're very responsive within, you know, 20-30 minutes of getting the email. So.
And we've got like all the social media platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You know, you can reach out to us on any of those, and we'll get back to you.
Yep.
And you're mainly in the Chicago, Illinois area.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep. West side of Chicago.
We've shipped all over the country and even into Canada.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on. We've had great audience participation. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Kate. Say hi to Chris for us. Too bad she couldn't be with me tonight. And guys, make sure to tune in next week. We've got TDSE, Ron and Lourdes coming on next week. So make sure you tune in. But guys, most of all, make sure you go to FIBParanormalLLC.com. Look at that equipment. Do some purchasing. Get these guys some money, because we all know that the paranormal doesn't pay for shit. We got to work to get it right. And make sure you go to FIB_paranormal on TikTok and check these guys out. Everybody, say thank you to Tim. Say thank you to Kate. Say thank you to Forever Investigating Beyond. There was my one. Every podcast. But guys, most of all, stay haunted. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Thanks for tuning in.